Ground block. So I can choose. Look at my square shoulders. That's how many beginners are taught right from the beginning. Mostly in Taekwondo, Karate, and then Kyokushin, the master of Oyama, who's actually Korean, his name is actually Choi, you can check for yourself. A lot of times circular. See? Circular. But also notice my body turns. Look, my body turns. My body turns. So those are correct. So you can do linear and circular. Okay. At the higher level, we prefer circular, right? But at the beginning level, people learn 1, and then how to turn their body, 2. 1, how to cover, see that I'm covered, and then 2. 1, covered, and 2. Covered, so my body's covered here, and 2. And then later on, you cover and move more fluid. So turning your waist and hips and shoulders is important. We don't want to do the robot. Robot looks nice, looks impressive. See 400 guys in a big field, they're like this. All in the sync, looks beautiful. Nice performance. However, not practical. Not practical for real combat, and not practical as a method of training throughout your life. Because eventually that stiffness costs you. So when you have circles in your fluid circles, your body's meant to move in circles. Your wrist moves in circles. Your elbow moves in circles. Your shoulder moves in circles. Okay? Many circles. When you use circular movement, right, your body stays healthier. When you use rigid movements, your body becomes rigid, becomes unhealthy. Some evidence is this. Look up, take a look, try to find, do your best to find Okinawan karate masters. There are many of them that are still alive. Look at their ages. Look at how they move. Okay, from Goju, from Ishinru, look at how they move. Now, I don't agree with all their techniques and their methods, because for me, sometimes some are very stiff, not fluid enough. But many are on the right path. And you'll see people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s still practicing karate at that age in Okinawa. Do you see that in America? Do you see that in Japan? But the proof is right before your eyes. Look closely, a lot of conditioning, even to the later years of life, but also a lot of circular movements, right? Yes, a lot of the doju changed and started using lower stances. Good for exercise. Good for exercise. But the majority are using the old way, higher stances, fluid movements, and also eating right. Despite drinking a lot. A lot of knockdown masters drink a lot. That's just a fact. Same thing with Korean grandmasters. We all know this. If you've been doing Korean martial arts for a while, you know. We do have a very clean group, vegetarian, don't kill anything, no alcohol. They're living in the high plane. They're living on the mountain above the clouds. But then you got the majority, they're living down there. Okay? Lots of drinking, a lot of times people smoking, junk food, right? Different path. But for longevity, you want to think. You want techniques that's going to keep your body healthy later in life. And I kept doing the stuff I was doing before that I was taught from the Chundo Kwon and so many other things. If I did that stuff, I would never be 65 doing this. If I did that stuff, I could only do this one time. I'd be messed up. So you want to think in terms of longevity. So when you're in your 50s, your 60s, and 70s, you're going to be okay. So now, and also that the movements you do help keep you younger and strong as opposed to the opposite. So now, back to the blocking. Right? Inhale and exhale. We got this. But square shoulders no good. We have to turn. Two things happen. This turn, we have a counter motion. So we got better body mechanics when we block. Better mechanics. Also, we have a smaller field that they can hit. See this? When I do this, I'm cutting down. Here I'm wide. When I turn, I start to get a little more narrow. Less of the strength. And when I do this, I can do my block faster. This, I rely just my arms and my hands. Leverage-wise, have your partner push over here, you see, not so good. The leverage-wise, not good, and more distance. But when I do this, my body work alone took a lot of pressure off of my shoulder, gave me more leverage, more speed, and minimized how much they have available to hit at the same time. So we have to learn to do this, right? Then do circle, see, circle, that's fine, same thing. And also open hand, it's the same thing. Now, we're doing one steps. Remember, one steps, it's not just physical. It's 10% physical. There's the other 90% mind, soul, and spirit. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. So remember, those drills are meditation and motion. You want to practice that way to begin to clear your mind so you can achieve the motion state. No mind, an empty mind state. Now, I know, because I've gotten this before, a lot of pushback. Many people get upset because they've been practicing a certain way for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Why be upset? That's your body. That's your time. That's your life. Do what you want to do. Don't be upset because I point at a way that's different. Whether it's better or not, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. Unless you do your own work and really check out the science, the physics, and physiology behind it, and the history. But whether it's wrong or right, another topic. You get to choose what you want to do. If it makes sense to you, you do it. And if it doesn't, you don't. It's none of my business what you think of this or what you think of me. It's not my business. It's not actually care. It's none of my business. I'm simply pointing the way that's healthier, that's been tested and proven, and has historical evidence to stand upon. So if you choose to do this way, fine. If you can get even 10%, you learn something from this, great. If you don't, that's okay. Thousands do. I know that. Because why? Because I get to see people 10 and 15 years later come back to me two ways. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. I had no idea. My body's so much better. I want to get the other one. Oh, I wish I had listened to you. I'm talking about some serious people. High levels, tournament champions. Now, everything is not for everyone. It's like one size does not fit all. Okay? I put my glasses on you, you probably go blind. I don't know. Right? One size fits all doesn't work with shoes, don't work with clothes, don't work with glasses, and even martial arts. There are certain things that work better for your personality and your body type. What I'm teaching here is what works best for most people. Maybe not everyone, but most people. If you've been doing it a certain way for 20, 30 years, it's kind of hard to undo that. And maybe you found a way of making that difficult way work for you. But, especially if you're a teacher, you may notice that your students can't use it. See, if you want to reconsider. The things that I can do that my students can't do. So I'm not going to teach them the things that only I can do and they couldn't do, unless they have 20 or 30 years training. Because nobody has 20 or 30 years training. The way this world is, I'm lucky to be alive tomorrow. So they may not have me. So as a teacher, it's my responsibility to give them the best I can, as quickly as I can, as efficiently as I can, because I don't know when I'm going to see them again. Tomorrow's guaranteed to no one. So don't be upset, because I'm teaching something that's different. And the second argument is this: but everyone does this way. Everybody does that way. Fine. Do that way. Do that way, if that's the way you want to follow. Trust me, this is no different than anything else. Many will follow a certain way. It's like, for example, in Korea, we got this, we got a bunch of stuff that kind of happened after the Japanese occupation. A lot of it, not the Tang Soo Do. The Tang Soo Do have a lot of the original way. The Kwon, a lot of original ways. But the general huge body of Taekwondo, 90%. A lot of the basics have been modeled after Japanese martial arts. Why? Because in the mind, they were led to believe or to learn that the Japanese was stronger and their martial arts was stronger. Later on, they sort of realized that, oh, no, we have some good skills here. Tekion, right? Real phenomenal kicking skills. Not Taekwondo, Tekion, where a lot of Taekwondo kicking came from. But before that, they were trying to imitate Japanese martial arts. Korea had a multitude of martial arts, which was phenomenal. But during the occupation, 36 years, that was smushed, crushed, destroyed, almost wiped out. There was only one living Grandmaster left of Tekion alone that brought it back. He was the last living Grandmaster. Luckily, he wasn't killed. He survived. But many follow what came from the enemy. Many follow things they think that was stronger, that was correct. Just like in religion. If you go to church, if you walk into a black gospel church, when you walk in, you feel something different. You can feel the soul flowing. When you listen, it's something different. Now, many churches are imitating the black church. But the sad thing is, previously, the black church was imitating the European church. That was pushed upon them, forced on them. And few even know that most of those books in the Bible were written in Africa. Some of them were not even written in Hebrew or Aramaic. Some were written in actually African languages. So what happened? They had the real spiritual teachings, but if you bring them the truth and show them their history, archaeology, history, even genetics, language, you can trace it right back to where it came from. Yet, Most will cling on to the other way because what seems familiar always feels safe. So the same thing with martial arts. What is familiar for many always feels safe. So they will cling to that. It's only the brave, the wise, the open-minded, and the courageous that will step out of that confined matrix they were brought up in. Train wisely.